A big part of my fishing is rig making. You know, I like to be prepared, spend a lot of time making rigs at home or even at work sometimes. I like to be precise as well with it, so make sure everything's right and I'm not going to have any trouble when I'm out on the bank. One thing that's slightly overlooked, I think, and it's something that I don't even think about because I've made that many rigs, is silicone placement on your float. So I always like to use 3 pieces. The reason for this is not so much that 2's not going to be any good, just 3 gives you that little bit of security. So the one closest to the body of the float doesn't want to be touching the body, in my opinion. The reason for this is when it's under tension, your rig, the line will cut into your float and take on water, and you have to start taking shot off and so on. The next bit of silicone just below that, it's not quite in the middle of the float, like a third of the way down from the first piece of silicone. This one's more for security really, like I've just mentioned. So if I do have a big fish and it comes off, or I have strains and some of my silicone snaps, I can move that piece up to the top and carry on fishing. The last piece of silicone, obviously right at the bottom of the float, this one's important really, the most important out of the lot. It wants to be slightly longer than the other 2 pieces, probably double the length really. The reason for this is I want it to overhang my float at the bottom by 2 or 3 mil. This prevents, when you're shipping out fast, you know, if you're speed fishing for roach, or like we are today at Medland, skimmer fishing, it's excellent. It prevents your float from flipping over on itself and getting in a tangle. You know, if you haven't got it over the bottom of your float, you'd have to ship back, undo that, and this all time, and obviously over 5 hours, it's a long time, 5 hours, but little things like that do add up, meaning more fish in your net. In our range of CARPA pole float silicone, we've got 4 sizes. Got 0.3mm, 0.5mm, 0.8 and 1mm. These are going to cover most floats you're likely to encounter. So the 0.3, your thinner wire stem floats, your 0.5 is going to be the most popular size for the fishing we do, you know, your commercial fishing. So your thinner stem carbon floats, or your next step up in wires such as Gloucester wires or F1 pellets have got a thin carbon stem on them. The 0.8 and the 1mm, it's getting slightly bigger now, so as you'd expect, the bigger floats come into play here. The thicker wire stem or the Gloucester glass stems that we do, you know, you're going to need 0.8 or 1mm on those. They can also be used for thin wire stick floats, you know, the 1mm, absolutely fantastic for that. A great little tip that we've got on the back of the packets of this silicone is by making a few cuts, you're not going to waste any. So 1 piece of silicone is going to do 2 floats. So like I say, a couple of little cuts in half and effectively half again. You've got the perfect size silicone for every float and you're not wasting any.